There's no doubt Samia Suluhu will be declared president. I mean, when you are running unopposed, what else really matters? But that's not why we are here today. We are here because some key celebrities in Tanzania who have sided with Suluhu are now facing the wrath of their fans. And it's exposing something much bigger than politics. This one is really exposing how influence, power, and conscience collide in modern Africa. And let's be honest, in Africa, politics and celebrities, have always flattered. But what's happening in Tanzania right now feels very different. It's not just about endorsements or campaigns. This is about what happens when fame or famous people, become silent. When your favorite artist, the one who sings about struggle and hustle, suddenly starts singing for power and adoring those who are in power. And for millions of Tanzanians, that silence is starting to feel like betrayal. They feel betrayed. President Samia Suluhu Hassan, as we said, will definitely be declared the winner of an election that many inside and outside Tanzania are calling anything but free and fair. The main opposition party, Chadema, was bad. Its leader, Tundu Lissu, faced treason charges and couldn't even campaign. Over 200 activists and opposition supporters have reportedly been detained or gone missing. And yet, on social media, what is trending is not just about the missing voices. It's about the loudest ones, the celebrities. Because instead of questioning the arrests, the kidnappings, or the growing fear in the country, some of Tanzania's biggest names, we are talking about Diamond Platinumz, Zuchu, Alikiba, Harmonize, Rayvanny, Hadija Kopa, and Bill Nass. Those people we all know. They have chosen this moment to publicly endorse Suluhu and the ruling party. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, freedom of speech and the freedom to decide who do I want to support, it's okay. But when you are supporting, why are you blind to the injustices that are happening in your country as well? Why are you blind to the people who have died? Why are you blind to all this? Diamond actually posted a green CCM campaign banner of President Suluhu, praising her for her wisdom, for being hardworking, for being a true mother of the nation. But that post meant to celebrate opened the floodgates. The comment section exploded. Fans from Kenya, I can see you in those comments. But anyways, fans from Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, even the diaspora flooded in that comment section with anger. And some of them even said, "You will be remembered as an artist who stood on the wrong side of history. I cannot be among the 18 million followers of someone dining with the oppressor. A country where artists sing for oppressors instead of truth is a country marching proudly towards its own ruin." And definitely, these were not political analysts. These are ordinary fans, people who have danced to the songs, people who are streaming these celebrities' videos, people who have actually defended these celebrities during online debates, And now, these fans are saying, enough is enough. And that's the real story here. It is not just about if Suluhu wins this election. It's about who are the celebrities that are starting to lose credibility. Because what this moment is showing the entire world is that in modern Africa, the battle for truth will not only be fought in parliament or protests, it also being fought on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and across other social media platforms. Celebrities are no longer neutral spectators. They are opinion shapers, they are image builders, political amplifiers. And when they choose a side, millions will watch and they will judge. Let's go back to Suluhu. She came into power in 2021, promising reform to reopen civic space after the hardline rule of the late John Magufuli. At first, she earned international praise. I was actually really impressed, She met opposition leaders. She actually freed a few prisoners and allowed political gatherings again. But as the 2025 election drew near, that openness shrank. She's no longer loved, or maybe by other peoples. Opposition rallies were restricted. Critics were arrested. Journalists were intimidated. Internet slowed down during election week. And Chadema, Tanzania's largest opposition party, was banned from even participating. So in reality, Suluhu was running almost unopposed. Yet to the world, the presence of cheering artists, celebrity endorsements, and these polished campaigns have created the illusion of democracy. I mean, when you see Diamond post about Suluhu, and maybe you don't even live in Tanzania, and then you bump into a post where people are criticizing Suluhu, you'll be like, no, but Diamond loves Suluhu. So she must be an amazing person. Now, here is where the amnesty report comes in. Between January 2024 and October 2025, I'm going to attach the link to that report. Amnesty documented widespread and systematic violations in Tanzania, including enforced disappearances, arbitrary arrests, torture or ill treatment, extrajudicial killings, and the use of overbroad laws to silence dissent. In that report, they actually warned that authorities have intensified their repression of dissent as a deliberate strategy, by the way, to instill fear and also suppress civic engagement and entrench power. They also detail how freedom of expression, assembly, and movement have been undermined. Critics were even prevented from organizing. Opposition meetings were banned. Civil society is under threat. And the report concludes that regardless of surface-level reform talk, the trajectory under Suluhu is one of the democratic backsliding. So this is not democratic renewal. No. So when now you go back and you have celebrities who align with power in this context, you have to ask, what are you actually aligning towards? And that is the power of celebrities in Africa today. Celebrities can sanitize repression. They can make the absence of opposition look like national unity. They can also make an unfair election look, festive and amazing. And they can turn, artists who once sang about struggle into brand ambassadors for the very systems that silence other people. But the backlash is now hitting home, literally. Some of these celebrities who openly supported Suluhu and Chama cha Mapinduzi have suffered heavy losses as angry citizens turned their frustrations toward their businesses. Musician and entrepreneur Shilole, who is known for her restaurant Shishi Foods, saw it vandalized during the protests. Rapper Bill Nass, who proudly campaigned for Suluhu, lost his electronics shop to flames. And we are not advocating for that kind of behavior. I wouldn't advocate for people to do that, I mean, you can disagree. I'm not sure why it was done, but you can see where the anger is coming from. And not to say we advocate for such things. To all these people, what began as political support has turned into social and economic punishment, a symbol of how the people's disappointment has spilled, beyond online outrage into real-world consequences. To many Tanzanians, banning these businesses is not just rebellion. It is a message. Fame built on the people's trust cannot survive when it turns its back on them. I mean, how dare you? How dare you turn your back on us after we supported you? Let's talk about Zuchu's post. You guys can go and find all of it on her Instagram profile. Her post was meant to celebrate a woman leading the country. But even her own fans, especially women, flooded her comments saying things like, Zuhura, mimi ni shabiki wako lakini unaumiza. Watu wanakamatwa bila kosa. Vijana zaidi ya 200 wako wapi? Alright? And that comment on Zuchu's post, being reminded to translate this to you in English, what it meant. Zuchu, I'm your fan, but you are hurting us. People are being arrested for no reason. Over 200 young people are missing. Where are you when this happens, right? And you can see, as I was saying, that comment is not hate. It's heartbreak. It's a plea from citizens and fans asking their icons to use their voices. Because in Tanzania today, those voices matter. Maybe even more than the politicians, right? And this is where it gets bigger than Tanzania. Across Africa, artists and influencers are being forced to choose between conscience and comfort, between speaking truth and protecting brand deals, between standing with the people or staying close to power. And we've seen this in Nigeria during the EndSARS, the EndSARS hashtag movement. We saw it in Uganda with Bobi Wine. We are seeing it again in Tanzania, where the microphone has now become both a weapon and a shield. Here are some voices that we must commend for standing with the people. One of the people is Nay Wamitego, a Tanzanian rapper whose music openly criticizes government repression and addresses enforced disappearances despite bans and threats. And then there's this woman who majority of you love so much, Mange Kimambi. She's very outspoken and she commentates on things, that are happening. And she uses her platform to expose state abuse. She calls out celebrity hypocrisy and defends victims of unlawful arrests. And then there's Maria Sarungi, a media activist urging citizens, she's urging citizens to participate and hold the politicians accountable. And then there's this, let me just play you this video by Jackie Wolper here. She's decided today is not the day I'm going to be quiet.
Watu wanapigwa. Nabidi na mimi ni posti kama kioo cha jamii. Tofautisha ya kumposti raisi na kuposti uonevu wanaofanywa wananchi. Ni vitu viwili tofauti. Mimi sio mnafiki. Afu mimi siwezi kuona kitu kibaya nikakikalia macho, yani kakalikalia kimya. No, siwezi kukaa kimya hata siku hii. Kwa hiyo tofautisha, utofauti wa kuposti na utofauti wa kukaa kimya kitendo kibaya kinachofanyika kwa wananchi. Mimi sio mwanasiasa, mimi sina chama na sitaki. Understand? Kwa hiyo nitaposti ninachokiona kina haki ya kupostiwa.
Yeah, that is her saying in a nutshell that it is important for you to also use your voice to post when you see injustices are happening. And she's saying, yeah, you can post the president, but also can you try and also post the things that are happening? And she says she's not a politician. She doesn't even have a party and she does not want to. But she's telling you, please post when you see citizens being oppressed. Give it a thought and post about it. And we have to talk about the danger of celebrity endorsements, because it manipulates emotions. When the public is angry or hurting, they don't just look to the politicians. They look also to the people they trust, the artists, influencers, creatives. So when those trusted voices now align with power, the betrayal cuts deep because it feels very personal. It's no longer politics. You guys, you are breaking our hearts. Things are happening. You love the president, love her, but also call out these injustices. Someone like Diamond Platnumz, Harmonize, Zuchu, all these people have massive following. So is it that they doubt their injustices in Tanzania or they don't want to hurt Samia's feelings? What is it? What is it? And let's be clear. Samia Suluhu's gender doesn't excuse authoritarianism, no. Being the first female president is very historic. We are going to clap. But leadership must still be accountable. You cannot celebrate women in power while women are being arrested for speaking their truth. You cannot post campaign posters while citizens are vanishing. You decorate the whole country green and yellow, and your citizens are vanishing. And you still want to act unbothered. No. Please also, we cannot call that democracy if your name is the only name on the ballot. Please. And you now, the artists. You cannot say you sing for the people and then stay silent when those same people are crying for help. You see how Diamond shakes his kiuno singing for you guys, but now all of a sudden he's mute, numb. He doesn't know what is happening to you. Harmonize and the song. What is that song that we love watching the video? Ameloa. Amenyeshewa na mvua. Harmonize. You are busy saying huko amenyeshewa na mvua, and then you can't even call out injustices. I don't think I will love your hairstyle after this. Hapana. Harmonize. Alikiba. Come on, guys. You have to realize that Tanzania's youth are watching. And Africans across the continent are also watching. This moment is not just about Suluhu becoming president again. It is about what kind of culture we are building as Africans. Are we raising a generation of entertainers who speak truth to power? Or entertainers who perform for power? By the way, performative celebrities. These performative activists. Aish, apana. Anyways, let's continue asking ourselves important questions. Are we creating a society that rewards courage or one that is going to reward silence? And the truth is, this backlash against Tanzanian celebrities is not hate, as we said. It is an awakening. These are citizens realizing that influence without integrity is very dangerous. These are fans who are reminding artists that fame is borrowed and it comes from the people. It can be given and it can be taken away. Are we together? So yes, Samia Suluhu may win this election, which I know definitely. These people, see, you just announce her as the president. So you announce her as the president, she might win. But she didn't win the people's faith. Maybe not the majority of them. And the artists who stood beside her may have gained political access, but they have definitely lost moral currency. In the end, the stage is not separate from the street, and history will not remember those who had the most followers, but it will remember those who had the courage to speak when silence was profitable. Silence is very profitable, my people. The deals people get for aligning with the right people. Silence is very profitable. When you speak, just know. You'll never get a deal, never. And you have to make peace with that. Maybe the bigger question we need to ask, not just in Tanzania but across Africa, is this: can we really separate the art from the artist during moments of injustice? Because when an artist uses their voice to praise power while others are being silenced, that art becomes political, whether they like it or not. When a musician sings about freedom but ignores those who are jailed for asking for it, their lyrics become useless. When influencers are posting love and light, the way we love doing that, love and light, but you are posting while citizens are mourning their disappeared loved ones, that silence definitely becomes a form of participation. We can't keep saying it's just music, or it's just entertainment, or it's just art. Not when art shapes culture, not when art moves people to protest, to think, to believe, and not when silence from those with platforms becomes complicity. So maybe we can separate the art from the artist when it's about taste. Me, I love rumba, me, I love this, me, I love, okay, we can do that. But we cannot separate them when it's about truth. Not when people are dying, not when governments are using fear to rule, not when the same artists who inspire the poor to dream are standing next to those who crush those dreams. No. Art has always been political. Remember, Fela Kuti used it. Miriam Makeba used it. My favorite Bob Marley used it. They sang truth when it was dangerous to speak it. So, if today's artists who have more freedom and more money and more reach can't do the same, then maybe the art itself is losing its soul. Let's stop calling it art. And here's my question to you who is watching this. If your favorite artist stands with oppression, can you still dance to their music? If your idol or your favorite celebrity stays silent when you people are suffering, can you still call them a hero? Or is this the time we draw a line and say, art must mean something again? Because we've seen it mean something before. Lucky Dube, all right? We've seen Eric Wenena, right? We've seen it mean something. We've seen it mean something. So this behavior of you wanting to be an artist and entertain people when you're getting money from them, but when it's time for you to stand against injustice, you decide, no, this is none of my business. That has to end. There's an awakening happening in Africa, and you either board the bus or you are left out. And it is important for everyone with a platform to realize you will not get this moment again. You might not actually get this moment again. So use it right now when it's needed most. If you are going to praise Samia, could you also criticize Samia? Isn't that a fair line? Isn't that actually a fair line? Or it's now because you know the president on the first name basis, or they are on your speed dial, you don't care about the people who cheered, who actually vouched for you when you had nothing. It is very funny that some of these artists who are out here praising Samia, when you go back to their images 10 or 15 years ago, hey, but now everything is good, bills being paid, VIP access, etc., etc. So we don't care about the people anymore. That is selfish behavior. As I said, I was one of those people who celebrated Samia when she got there. But now you look at her actions, and I'm not going to lie, I'm not impressed. Maybe when she changes, she will impress me tomorrow, and I'll come here and tell you guys I'm impressed. But right now, she's not my cup of tea, and she knows why. And she knows why. And this I say with no fear of contradiction. Samia Suluhu, you are not my cup of tea right now. And you have to realize there's a cycle happening in Africa, especially in East Africa, where you have presidents who have become untouchable. The Suluhus, the Rutos, they can't be touched. Sometimes I wonder if these guys exchange notes on how to make our lives miserable. Maybe they exchange border notes. Maybe you'll have a president from another Africa country calling Suluhu and say, wasikusumbue, ukitaka mwagia tia gas, fanya chochote. Maliza, wasikuambie, ni kuongea tu. I feel like they actually have calls where they can call each other and decide, no, wasikuonyeshe kichwa, maliza. And if you don't understand, there's something happening in Africa right now where people are trying to rise up, but the moment they rise up, it's like you have other people who are working so hard to bring you down. And some of these people who are working so hard to bring you down are your favorite influencers. We will be here fighting a battle for the people, and then they are cashing in money on behalf of the people. You get what I'm saying? And that will not happen while we are alive and we watch. You cannot say it's a free and fair election when you are the only person there. And you expect the rest of the world to look at you and say, because you are the legendary Samia Suluhu, we're going to clap for you and turn a blind eye on what your people are going through. And I want to remind Kenyans, the rest of Africa has stood with us when it mattered. When we were going through our own drama here, one that we are still I don't know what happens, but I hope you are still strong. I hope you saw the comments from the rest of Africa cheering you on and encouraging you to speak truth to power. That was us being supported. And I love that I'm seeing some people from Tanzania now telling Kenyans, tusaidieni, tuongeleleni. Na kuna Wakenya wanaongea, tuongee, kwani kuongea, sikuongea ndio tunaongea, kwani kuna shida. Ipo tatizo, tukiongea, simuache tuongee, si ndio wananchi, tuliwaweka hapo. Na kama mambo mnafanya hatufurahishi, tutaongea. Kama mnafanya hapa vipindire zenye hazitufurahishi, tufanye nini? Kama mmeamua mtu wa opposition mtamweka huko ndani asijitetee, sisi tufanye nini? Tutakuja na tutaongea. Sisi mdomo tutaongea. Tutaongea wa Afrika. Ongeeni, zungumzeni. Mababu zenyu walikufa ndio mpate hii haki ya kuongea. Walikufa ndio mpate hii haki ya kuongea. Walikipitia ndio mpate haki ya kuongea. So ongeeni. Kama kitu si kizuri, ongea. Zungumza. Manake wakishachukua hii sauti yako, wanajua watashinda. Wanataka tu unyamaze, ukue muoga, usiongee ndio washinde. Msiitikie. Na mnaposimama na Tanzania, kumbukeni ndugu zenyu wapi? Sudan. Sawa. Kumbukeni ndugu zenyu Sudan. Halafu mfuate pesa inatoka wapi hii ya Sudan. Manake zile vifaa wanatumia, hizo vifaa si wenyewe wamejiundia. Kuna mtu amewanunulia hizo vifaa waangamize wananchi wenzao. Nataka kama Waafrika tuanze kufuata pesa. Tujue watu wa Sudan wanapoangamia ni nani anafaidika. Tujue watu wa Sudan wanapoangamia nani anafaidika. Na pesa wamezitoa wapi kupigana hizi vita. Ni nini kinachofanyika na gold yao? Ni nini kinachofanyika na shamba lao? Nini kinachofanyika hapa port ya Mombasa? Manake juzi tumepokea ripoti, Kenya imesafirisha gold ngapi Dubai? Zilipita wapi? Hapo ndicho hicho Kiswahili changu kimenifikisha mimi. Anzeni kufuata pesa, ni nani anagharamia haya matatizo sisi wa Afrika tunapitia bila uoga. Nasikia wengine wanauliza, kilichofanyikia Lynn ni nini? Kilichonifanyikia ni ati mimi saa macho nimefungua yote. Fungua, twende hii safari pamoja. But all in all, guys, I'll say this. You have presidents who are preaching democracy, but they are not walking the talk. What is democracy? Let us redefine democracy. And then when we do that, we will be okay. We will be okay, because what we're experiencing in Africa is not democracy. No, in some parts of Africa, some countries in our continent, is not democracy. Let's reevaluate our lives. These politicians have become so obsessed with power that they don't care how many people die or how many people survive. As long as I'm up there, deal with it. Alrighty? Deal with it. So let's not have that. Speak truth to power. And this is the only time and the most important time it matters here in Africa. Manake wa Afrika tusipojiangalia, sisi tutarudi huko slave trade. Sisi tutarudi huko tusipojiangalia. Tujitazame. Na kama wale ndugu zetu Sauti Sol walisema, tujiangalie. Sawa. Haya. Thank you guys for watching. Share your thoughts on the comment section. I love going there and I love reading what you're saying. So share your thoughts on the comment section. I'm gonna see you guys hopefully tomorrow. As I said, we have so much to do. I feel like there's little time for us, but we must do it. And thank you for contributing towards our work by subscribing, by liking, by sharing, by commenting. We appreciate you. Thank you so much, all right? So see you guys tomorrow. Bye.